Now, I'm a big fan of what the entry-level S12 has to offer, so should you spend the extra money and get the S42 instead? Well, in this video today, we're going to find out. Yes, you get some nice additional features with the S42, such as a colour touchscreen and more connectivity to your phone, but that comes at an additional cost, and I don't just mean to your wallet. If you want more detailed information, I'll include the links down in the description below to my full reviews of both of these watches, as well as any discount codes that I've currently got, so you can pick up both of these watches for less than retail price. But for this video, I'm going to cover two main areas of comparison. Firstly, their golf functionality. That's at the core of both of these watches. That's what they have to get right. And then secondly, what they're actually like to use. If you just want a golf watch that can do all the basics that you really need out on the golf course, then the S12 has you covered. It's nice and easy to use. It gives you accurate yardages to the front, middle and back of the green, as well as various hazards on the course. You can keep score on the watch, as well as track some of your stats, and it has a display that is nice and easy to read, albeit pretty basic. With the S42, you get all of those features included, plus some additional ones as well. So the bigger brother has a touchscreen colour display. Now, in terms of the actual use of those, that's personal preference. Some people might actually prefer just to use the buttons, whereas some people might prefer to use the touchscreen. The S12 gives you the ability to track your last shot so long as you select it from the menu before you hit the shot. With the S42, you get automatic shot tracking. First of all, with your tee shots, it automatically displays at the top, and then also you can go into the menu and select last shot and track your previous shot. Now I know that's a pretty handy feature because that's what we all want to know. How far did we smash that last drive? I could have sworn that was going to be a 300 yarder. Watch says it was 235. In fact, you can actually set up the watch so it tracks every one of your clubs. Now that does mean that you have to select what club you actually hit after you hit every shot, but there are sensors in this watch so it detects when you've actually struck the ball and then you enter that data. So if you're looking to get more specific data on every one of your clubs, well really you've got to go for at least the S42 because the S12 is just not giving you that functionality. That is, unless you connect the CT10 tags, which cost an extra couple of £100, in which case both of these watches are compatible with those additional tags. With both watches you can keep score as you go, however with the S42 it can actually factor in your handicap as well. Another slight difference with the golf features of these two watches is that with the Approach 42, you can see here that you've got the numbers of the holes, 1 to 18 round the outside, and there's a little marker that ticks round as you go. Now you don't have that with the more basic S12, but it doesn't really matter because on the display of both watches, it tells you what hole you're on anyway. So yeah, you're not really missing out too much on that one. The last main difference when it comes to golf functionality is that with the S42, you can actually move the position of the flag on the green with the touchscreen, so you can really dial it in if you want to. With the S12, you can move the position of the flag on the green, but you can only choose from several predetermined placements. You can't be really specific. Now, I've got to be totally honest, with both of these watches, when I use them out of the course, I don't use that feature because if I know the distance to the front, the middle and the back, then I'm just gonna pick my yardage from there. I'm gonna be able to judge it. If you're a really highly skilled golfer, then are you really going to rely on those kind of yardages anyway? You're probably just going to be using a rangefinder because then you can get pinpoint accuracy rather than just guessing where the flag is from 200 yards out. So those are the main differences in terms of the golf features of these two watches. And if you have found that helpful so far, then please make sure you smash that like button to help support the channel. So now let's move on to the equally important part of usability and design. So in terms of the S12, then the first thing that you'll probably notice when you get out of the box is that it is quite plasticky. There's no getting around it. And as mentioned before, you have got this basic black and white display that doesn't have a backlight. The rubbery silicone, I think it is, strap is quite thin, and again, the buckle does feel a little bit cheap in my opinion. But then again, this is the entry-level budget version, so you can't really expect too much from it. When you go up to the S42, you have got a colour touchscreen with a backlight, and you also get this metallic bezel on the outside. And while the watch in direct comparison does look a little bit nicer in terms of the watch face and the quality on that bezel and screen, the actual back of the watch is still looking to use the same kind of plastic material, and it also has a similar silicone strap on the back of it as well. Yes, it feels ever so slightly thicker, but there's not much of a difference there between the two. With the S42, you do have the ability to choose some different watch faces if you want, whereas with the S12, you're stuck with that pretty basic display. Now, there is a big key difference between these watches, and it's actually in favour of the entry-level S12, and that is battery life. I managed to get 30 days of continuous use of this watch on a single charge, and that was with playing 2 rounds of golf as well. With the S42, because of the colour touchscreen display, it requires more energy to use, and therefore the actual battery life on this is significantly reduced compared to the S12. So with the S42, I got around 7 days of usage, and that was with 1 round of golf. Yes, you get more features, but you also get reduced battery life. Now, both of these watches have Bluetooth connectivity that enables you to upload your scores and stats to your phone and the Garmin Connect app. But with the S12, you have no other connectivity, so you're not getting any notifications on your phone or anything like that. With the S42, you are getting a little bit more connectivity with both an Android and an iPhone. However, it's not a smartwatch. Don't think that that's what you're going to get. You're not going to want to be comparing the S42 to an iWatch. You're just not going to get that at all. Now, if you are an Android phone user, then you do get more options in terms of the way that you can turn on and off certain notifications. But with an iPhone, the settings are you either get all the notifications or you get none of your notifications. Because personally, I would rather set it up so you just get your text messages and your phone calls. I don't need to see my Twitter or my Instagram or my Clubhouse or my banking alerts. Actually, maybe banking alerts are quite handy on the watch. But you get my point. I don't need to see everything on this watch. And on top of that, you can't do things like control your music or answer your phone calls or anything like that with the watch. It's really pretty much purely about the notifications. One last point of difference that I really wanted to highlight as well is that with the S42, you do get some abilities to track other activities other than just golf. Now, it is quite limited, but if you want to use this watch to track a run or to track a bike ride or a walk, then you can do. However, there's no heart rate monitor or anything like that, so that functionality is pretty basic compared to what you get with a modern day iWatch. So I've talked you through there pretty much all of the significant differences between these two watches, and hopefully that's helped you decide which is going to be the right one for you. If you're just looking for the core essentials of a golf watch and nothing much more, then I think there's a good argument to say that you could save quite a bit of money and get the S12. I say that because actually, although this retails for £180, I've definitely seen it for a lot cheaper recently. I managed to pick one up in sales for around £110 here in the UK, and there's currently a sale on Amazon as at the time of recording this video to get it for around £130. However, if you're not keen on the basic display or look of the watch, or you do want to track some more specific club data just using the watch, then I think you're going to have to consider the S42 instead. That means that spending the extra £100 or so is probably justified for you, given that you are getting those additional features with the S42. But that being said, you need to go in with your eyes open because this is not a smartwatch. And so there's definitely a consideration that if you have got a modern iWatch, maybe you could save yourself some money and instead just buy a decent golf app on this one. Yes, that means that the battery life is only going to last you about a day on the iWatch compared to a good 7 days with the Garmin, but you're getting a lot more functionality out of an iWatch compared to the S42. Don't forget, you've also got the top of the line model, the Garmin Approach S62, which has actually significantly more golf features than the S42 and has a better battery life as well. So if you are thinking about buying either one of these watches, then I've included my full reviews to both right here. And don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you found this video helpful today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.